So many people walk this earth not knowing what they love, what they care about. Luckily for me.
So what's going on there, YouTube? It's going to be Donnie coming to you from Pinku Style Massage Japan. It's going to be podcast number 34, and we got my guy here, Tokyo. We've been having technical difficulties for the last hour or so almost. We'll sort that later on. It's just a little bit things, the Skype thing works out pretty good, but Windows tends to have some bugs and all that right there. The Mac guys, don't push the Mac stuff on me because I'm not interested. But anyway, man, we've been talking, man, and like I say, man, again, just like seriously, man, even the technical difficulties, you've been an awesome dude right there. Some guys, if I had Tom Cruise on here, he'd probably be pissed and wanting to, whatever.
Right.
But again, man, just thanks for taking the time out of your day. And it's what time is it there right now?
Right now, 4:52 p.m.
4:52.
Yeah. PM. Yep.
And it's here my time. It's 7:52 a.m. and it's December 3rd.
That's crazy. The past.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Again, brother, it's like I said, we've been talking, we've been trading. Well, number one, shout out to Cody Jones, because Cody told me about way before the show, which we'll get into a little bit. Cody told me about you. He's like, yeah, because when he went back to the States, Cody Jones, I guess when he got to Kansas or whatever, he was like, yeah, man, I met up with this guy, Tokyo, man. He kind of, he has the same kind of spirit as he was saying or whatever he was saying. Cody's kind of like a little wild guy, and he mentioned you, so I looked you up, but I don't know if your profile went you took it down or
my Facebook went I took it down.
Yeah, because I was actually actively looking for you to add you a long time ago, and then I was like, man, maybe then maybe it went away. Then I seen it again, your icon, and then it disappeared again. So it's so it's like you kept going incognito, man. Anyway, brother, again, it's been it's just finally we met up, and because I just wanted, I'm doing all of my talking right now because I'm gonna let you talk a lot. But the biggest thing, man, is again being so many people in the world and everything, man. And the biggest thing I picked up from you, man, is just your vibe of being positive and things like that. And a lot of guys out there, they take situations in life, man, and just make them I guess worse than what they are, man. Don't realize what they actually have and things like that, man. So again, man, so for you, how did you again, we'll get into the show and all that stuff later, man, but what got you into the car life and drifting and ultimately your style, man?
Well, now it's time for me to be a little basic B. So I didn't know anything about cars until Fast and Furious came out, and then at that point it hit me like a ton of bricks. This is so cool. Being able to customize a car the way you want. And then, of course, with that, Need for Speed came out with, Underground, and it just put it all together. At that point, this was something that I wanted to do myself. Didn't even know street racing existed until, Fast and Furious came out. But so got into that, my first car was a 1997 Mitsubishi Eclipse Turbo. Fast forward, Tokyo Drift comes out, and I'm like, holy crap, I didn't know what you could do at the car. I thought we just went straight really fast. So that changed everything. I mean, at that point I was e-braking in my front-wheel drive car everywhere I could, just because the feeling is unlike anything I've ever experienced. I hate roller coasters, but I love drifting. So it's the sideways action. I never look back after that, because it's drifting is the equalizer. Somebody who's been doing it for 20 years could hang with somebody like me that's been doing it for 7-8 years, or I could go out with a newbie and still have fun. They might spin out more, but the fact is when you're sideways with your bro, nothing else matters, so it's, and the best part, I will say this, I realized that anybody can do it. So there's females in Oklahoma that drift. Awesome, right? An old guy could go out and drift. There's a kid in Europe that's 13, and he was in the Grand Championships. Age doesn't matter, gender doesn't matter, and the best part about it, You could have the most worst day, crappiest day ever, and completely just go do a donut, and all of a sudden you just feel better. No drugs are used, no harm to your body. You didn't hurt anybody else. You just go do a donut. You have a bad day, and drifting solves a lot of things. So,
Yeah, that is true, man. Because like a lot of times when it's weird, man. Like it's like everybody has their first stage when they get into drifting. When you get to the event, and then like when you're first starting out, it's just the sounds and the smells get your blood boiling, and then
Right.
then it's like, man, I just want to get on the track. So I mean, normally most everybody do their prep the night before. That way you just do your lug checks. If you drive there, if you trailer there, it's a different kind of thing. Like my thing recently has been I trailer there, so my prep's already done, 2 days before now. And when I get there, like I'm just unloading, which my unloading is like, again, everybody starts out like just throw all the shit on the ground. And like, now it's like you got crates, you got containers. So all your fluids are here, all your tools are there. You compartmentalize. And then like, it's like the dudes are drifting and you're dropping tools and you're dropping zip ties and you want to get out there. Then it's like you fast forward like 5 or 10 years. Then you just walk up there and then like you just like, the noise is in the background, but you're like, all right, I'll get to it eventually. Let me walk the pits and say hi to people. And it's like, and everybody goes to that stage, man, which is like great. And that's like, it's like, you could be in it 30 years, man, and still it's just those same feelings of everything. It doesn't really change. And you could be having the worst time in like, in life. Life happens to everybody. But when you go to the track, man, or any activity, I guess, it just kind of it reinvigorates you, makes you like, kind of forget the BS and just enjoy that moment, man. So for you, man, the biggest thing I see for you, man, again, man, it just seems like, I mean, up until, this is weird, the time that we connected, it's just like, I guess 3 days before that, you put out your video saying that you're going to step back, and like you say, so to speak, you expose yourself, which, I mean, I don't see it that way. I mean, I just see it like, you're self-analyzing.
Yeah.
And you see where you want to be and everything, but I don't see like,
because it was a front.
I mean,
it was a big front. I mean, anybody that follows my content knows I'm known for my motivation, especially like on Snapchat. Everyday motivation, positivity. You can do it. Da 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 da. That's what I'm about. I believe that my purpose on this earth is to empower those around me. However, the way I came off, looking back at myself, is just pompous and just kind of like, oh, I'm Tokyo and this is what you can do, and da-da-da-da-da, and I'm calm and collected and confident and all these things because I have it figured out. When truthfully, I didn't. Or on Snapchat, again, I'd be at a fancy place drinking, eating. I don't drink alcohol or anything, but, just having a fancy, they call them fartinis or fake martini, drinking that or whatever, taking photos of stuff and fancy food and just like, oh, wow, like, Tokyo's always out and about. And it's like, nah, not really, man. Like, I'm actually doing Grubhub orders, and I just happen to go to this fancy place. And so now that I've, reached this point where I'm like, okay, something's got to change. I had to expose myself in order to kill the inner false self, which was attaching itself to materialistic things and wanting things that others had because the value of myself was less than. And so now exposing myself, there's this kind of like weightlessness, like I feel lighter having all my dirty laundry out there. I'm not having to carry it anymore. But now it's time to put the nose to the grindstone because when I come back, I want to be able to do more for the scene. I want to be able to have my drift cars back, So, I mean, the Angry Panda, getting that back up and running, having a pro car, not the pro car, sorry, the Bad Panda build. It'll be almost as much as a pro car, but it won't be that expensive. But having a Bad Panda out and running, the Angry Panda out and running, and doing more for people and seeing people and helping people and starting the Tokyo's Academy, helping people learn how to drift, the whole 9 yards. Can't do that unless I, fix myself.
yes, and that's again that's real, man. Like you said, it's when I read on the thing after you did it, and you were like, reading the comments, and you were like, hey man, you were in, I guess you probably when you posted, you respecting people to just be like, oh man, he's a fake or whatever, and kind of put you to the side, but actually it was the opposite, man. Everybody was supportive and everybody respects that, because everybody, man, like, in life, man, like until you reach a certain age, or you something happens, even when you go to the bar, man, like say you had a bar fight or whatever, and there's like, 5 guys that actually got in a fight with, but when you tell a story to somebody else, man, we fought 15 guys, and we, that's kind of like people embellish and things like that. And I've even done it in the past, man. Like, when I first got in a car game, like, oh yeah, I've driven in 10-second cars when like the fast car I've been in was like 14 seconds or whatever, a quarter mile. So it's like you do that to kind of like, to boost yourself up, and it's a thing that humans do because we want to be accepted. I mean, everybody play like they want to be like the loner, but in all reality, even me, man. I mean, I'm by myself 90% of the day, but it'll be cool to have somebody like yourself or somebody that's like-minded to talk to, like physically, because most of the guys that you come in contact with, I come in contact with, the customers, some of them are delirious, and some of them are just not on the same age group, and it's just, what I mean, it's just. I kind of put myself there, man. So for you, man, like Kansas City, correct, is where you're
Kansas City, Missouri. Yeah.
So how's the scene there compared to, like, have you been to like East Coast or West Coast?
It's hard to say. I've never been to the East Coast, and I've visited the West Coast for acting opportunities. But the car scene, like, and I've only been to LA, so the car scene in LA is horrid. Like, the 3 times I've been there, I might have seen 5 modified cars, and mind you, I was there for like a week, there for 3 days, there for 3 days. So like, it's apparently they're all in Long Beach. So, but what I can say is, compared to Kansas City, St. Louis, their car scene much better. Again, this is still the Midwest, but St. Louis is further along than Kansas City is. Oklahoma is more tight-knit than Kansas City is. So Kansas City's got a lot of growing pains right now. You have a lot of toxicity that exists because a lot of people are lost. They're afraid to be themselves. And there's animosity to where it's like, all right, I'm going to be myself and F everybody else. So you have that loner mentality that's happening that I want to address, and it's because of bitterness and resentment or unforgiveness that's inside a lot of people out here. And I mean, the drifting scene's a little bit better, but because of some of the new Gen Z kids that are coming into it with that, like, privilege mentality, and like, oh, mommy and daddy gave me this money, or I'm selling weed and I got me a $10,000 drift car with a turbo, I'm cool now and I can't drive it, so, and then the older guys are like, man, F this kid, versus like, hey, nice car, do you know how to use that? So there's a level of humility that has to happen on both sides in order for communication to work. And that also comes with self-awareness, which most people are not self-aware. So, I definitely, what am I trying to say? The point is that there's a lot that Kansas City needs to work on individual basis, but the potential here is really nice. It's really nice. So
it just, like, I just asked because it seemed, again, you got the coasts, you got the southern, the Texas and Florida, but it seemed like the guys like that up in that middle part of the states, man, it's like they just kind of like forgotten about, even when not only drifting, but even drag, and then like even autocross. It's like everything is on the coast. So when you go to the regionals or the nationals or whatever, you got to go to the coast to do all the the stuff. And then like if you look even at the Formula Drift, like most of the events are on the coast or the coasts or down in Texas, I believe. But there's like nothing in like the middle, like so everything you got to go out and everything. So it just seems like it's more. It probably be like when. Well, not really, because you have the internet, so everybody's seeing what's going on. But back in the day, when there was no internet, it was like probably the Midwest was getting everything late. You know what I mean? As a result, of being where you're located and stuff like that. So, but I mean, it's there. I mean, you being there, man. I think it's a good area because it's like you're not in the East Coast with 30 other dudes who have the same charisma and the same drive as you. So it's like they're doing their thing, you're doing your thing there in Kansas, and it's like, I mean, you're an I mean, whether you know it or not, I mean, you know it, man. You're an ambassador of the sport there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to get on the show Hyperdrive and everything coming out of there, man. You know, it's probably a lot of guys rooting for you, man. That's my guy. He's from here. We drift together. So it's you know, and you're already doing, like I say, you know, you say you want to put yourself in a position to help others and everything. You're already doing that, man. Like already. So it's just like, you know, once you, I definitely understand what you're saying. Like once you get to that, you know, where you feel like you can definitely everything, like you said, the biggest thing you mentioned, and which hit me hard, is like you say, hey man, I got this opportunity to go here, and then I don't have, you know, XYZ in the bank to go make this move, and that's where a lot of times, a lot of guys, why I don't, you know, nothing against it, but I don't buy Jordans. I don't every dime I spent since a while, but since 2015 when I started this business, it's been calculated, man. Like it's my family or it's business. There's nothing wasted. Even when I'm building an arcade downstairs, that's for customers to come in and stuff like that. So,
and it's not easy. For me, you know, I mean, even right now talking to you, you know how bad I want to put these on right now, like, but like at the end of the day, I know that the tough decisions have to be made in the present in order for us to get to that level where you can buy those Jordans, where I can go and have a fancy meal with my $5,000 Angry Panda car outside, because at that point I'm no longer attached to the monetary, but I'm operating in my purpose. I'm operating in my state, you know, in a state of abundance, where the accolades don't matter, because what matters more is that newbie kid that has 10 followers on Instagram is out drifting and having a blast, and maybe the depression that was going to make him take his life is now dissipating, because drifting is something he can sink his teeth into and begin to create and cultivate a family outside of his current family that shuns him for the depression that he's dealing with in the first place. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's where it's at. Like, but in order for me to be that person, to be at that level of abundance, you know, it's just like you. It's making those sacrifices right now. It's being calculated with my decisions, with my time, and it's so hard because there's still a little bit of an immature child inside of me that wants to. I mean, I'm just gonna put my shit out there. That wants to go get a massage, you know, that wants to go out and maybe just go to a strip club or something, or just go to the club and go dance with some females, or talk to a chick, or pull a chick, or, you know, like those are my demons, right? But I know at the end of the day, it's like, is that going to pay you? No. Is that satisfying your bank account, or is that satisfying your ego? My ego. Is your ego real? No, not really. Okay, so you shouldn't be doing that. No, you know, you know, or just like, and I'm sure you can relate to this as a business partner, or as a business owner, making decisions that are investing into your business. So, for me, investing in myself is books, constantly reading on all the time, books. Like if I showed you my my YouTube, I do audiobooks. So like I've been listening to Think and Grow Rich. I've been listening to Art of Communication. I mean, it's been time and time again. And actually, to be honest with you, I think it'll pull up on the screen here. See if you can tell me if you can see it. But so I've got all these books here that I've been listening to, you know, to grow myself. So as I'm doing deliveries, I'm growing here, and here spiritually is a couple of gurus that I listen to in order to come back into drifting stronger than ever before. It's so funny how what we do on when we're by ourselves can help perpetuate us forward when we're others.
Yeah.
When we're others.
That's I mean, that's very true, man. Because the thing about it's like, you know, everybody, you're surrounded by people and everything, but at the end of the day, it's like it's you and your thoughts, and like you're sitting there, you're in that room by yourself, and you're like, you man, you know exactly where you are in life, you know exactly. I mean, for me, you know, the business stuff and everything, and you know, everything is going great, and the business is open and stuff, but it's like every flaw that you know that's there, you know, for example, I mean, it's not well, it's not it's kind of like a flaw, like having control, because in business you got to control it. If you don't,
Right.
it'll run away. So like, there's a point too where you got to learn how to like kind of pull back, even though like you're the owner and like the customers have to do pretty much what you say. There's times where you got to kind of be a little bit flexible. You got to make the money or whatever, but sometimes you got to be like, no, it's not going to happen. So
Right.
that's like something I battle is like control, absolute control, and then also like I'm living here in Japan and it's like my life in the States stopped. So it's like for example, I have like credit card debts that's been delinquent for like the last 3 years, and I know it, but I've been so focused on building here, and now my credit score is like 480, which sucks. So now,
Right.
I can't do things. So it's like, I know. So everybody's like, oh man, you're killing it and this and this, and I know, like, man, my credit score sucks. You know what I mean? It's I don't got a micro
Right.
penis though, so that's cool. It's like, but yeah, man, it's that's again, man, I don't want to stay on this topic too much, man, because I know it's still fresh with you and everything, and you're still finding things and again, man, I know it'll be cool, and it's a good thing, man. Like I say, it sucks to pull back from the fun. But at the same time, man, when you re-engage, it'll be even better. You'll be better off and everything. So it's definitely good for it, man. But kind of switching gears, man, because I don't. Again, we'll talk about that, like kind of like more personal, personal talking and everything. I mean, the public thing is cool, but everything ain't for everybody at all. At certain points until it's ready to be released. But between you and I, man, like I said, this is just the beginning of many conversations and like you said business partner, but then you took it back, but no, that really business partners, man. Like it definitely will be that and everything, but like kind of transferring into like the biggest thing, which is like the with the recent events with the Hyperdrive and my overall thing, like, all right, so from start to finish, man, like, so how did you even find out about the entry? Like, because it just kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't hear nothing about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was literally, as you said, out of nowhere. This lady reached out to me, and I was like, I got a Facebook message with a paragraph and like information at the bottom, and I'm like, who is this? I'm like, California. Like, let me see, is this profile real? Because like at the time that I got the email that she had messaged me was a time like where Facebook was rampant with a bunch of fake hot female profiles. It was like, hey. So I'm like, who is this? Like, what's going on here? And it kind of seemed like a scam. I was like, man, like, how do they know that I'm into car stuff? Like, what's going on here? It was like, hey, we like your car, da-da-da-da, and I'm like, screw it. I got nothing to lose. Like my credit score sucks too. They're not going to steal my identity. Let's see what happens. And sure enough, she shoots me an email of everything. I'm like, oh my God, like, if this is real, this would be really cool. Like, we're actually going to be doing these maneuvers on the street. So you're telling me that what I normally do on a regular basis that I get tickets for, you're going to allow me to do on camera? Yeah, I'm there. So, and I'm guessing it's from the content that I was putting out through Facebook. Before I got rid of my Facebook, I mean, you can ask most people that know me, not on the That Guy Tokyo page, but on my normal profile, I was like, always putting content out, either drifting, me at a drift event, or just random content about drifting or cars, whatever. Or even speaking out. A lot of what I did, which kind of gave me my momentum in Kansas City, was speaking out against car bullying, if you will, and misbehavior and bad conduct in the car shows and stuff like that. People burning out, people going to the street races at nighttime and shooting it up, and fights that are going on ending gun violence and stuff like that. I was speaking out against that because it's not okay, right? But anyways, she probably saw that and was like, oh my gosh, let's talk to this guy. So, but yeah, she reached out to me, sent me the email, looked at it, it was legit. Made a couple videos just explaining who I was. Went through some videos around the car, and next thing I know, they're like, all right, we're gonna send you up here. This is when it's going down. Find yourself a driver partner. I'm like, oh crap, who can take off work for a month and join me on this conquest and pray to God we don't get killed or murdered? So but a good buddy of mine, Ben, He was nice enough to take off work and meet me up there. It was almost a hassle getting him up there because of his job, but when he showed up, I mean, it was kind of cool having that person in your corner telling you where to go and stuff like that. It felt like rally racing, you know, like where they had the person in a passenger seat. So, yeah.
So you get that's crazy because it's like you kind of it's one of those situations where it's like that dude from what's that, the Nigerian Prince sends you like the email. Yeah. So like that, and that's dude. That what you again, man, to kind of relate to it, it's been many times where I got a random email that turns up. It's like you used to like the scammers and like those types. So like then a few times I've answered emails, it's actually been like a real actual legit person, but it's like the way you can kind of see it look like it's kind of copy and paste and everything. Yeah. But hey man, it again is to me. I mean, like kind of before you go any further, it's like a testament to like if you use social media properly, like there's rewards, and like I said, that helped you out and everything, and got you out there and stuff like that. So all right, so once you got they hit you up and everything, you did that process, you got your partner Ben, you guys go over there. So then like how long was the duration of everything, like far as finish, like start to finish?
Gosh, so from from July 26th, I think is when I landed there. And then the filming actually started because we practiced for like a week and then start filming. So let's see here, practice for a week. So like August hits and we're full-fledged recording. So from like, say like August 1st to like August 16th was like the last showing or the last like race, the final, you know. So yeah, a lot of, and it was like from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. was recording. So, yeah. So it was weird being on that time schedule too. And like, you know, we're saying good morning at like, you know, at freaking evening, and we're saying good night in the morning. And thank God for that hotel, because man, we'd get there and, you know, if we were like leaving late and it'd be like sunrise, like kind of 6:30ish, 7 a.m. that we get back to the hotel, we just eat breakfast and then pass out. So breakfast was our dinner, you know. Can I just say, like, when you're in that situation, if you are in tune with who you are, and for me, it's like being able to drift and just be in front of the camera. I love being in front of the camera, which I am right now, and I love being in my car and just having fun and making friends. So when I can do all that and I'm not worried about anything, like the hotel's covered and I just show up and I do this thing, it was like, even though I was working, I was like being on vacation. It was a dream come true. I still reflect back to that and I'm just like, dude, like.
So you had that moment where you're just like, did you ever like did you do like the stand back and like this observe everything and everybody there, and like it's kind of like I'm really here, man. Like it's like this is really happening. Like right. That's that moment, man. It's like, you know, that makes up for all of like the long nights and the shitty ordeals and everything, and that's where, you know, those little moments right there makes us, we keep doing it again and everything. And a lot of people don't realize that. Again, you know, they see like they just see the hardships and everything is hard. Right. Like, I mean, just me. I mean, last night, man, you know, the business stuff, and I've been up for now. It's what I've been up since about 27, 28 hours right now. But but it's like, you know, I said before, and like not only you, but anybody that gives me time out of their life, I'm gonna be up whatever time I gotta be up to get these guys on the thing. Again, my apologies for the technical difficulties. Will be different next time. But yeah, man. So it's like you're doing there, you're taking it in, you're seeing everything, and you know, the event is progressing. And everything, and you got where you got. Again, for me, man, it's like I was gonna watch it from. It's kind of like, you know, everybody's like, oh man, Fast and Furious sucks, but I guarantee you, everybody's gonna watch it.
Oh yeah,
and so like everybody's like, you know, the first wave of guys that when it came out, when I seen it by Shredder was posting it a good amount. So I it was mentally in my mind, and then he posted again. He kept posting, then it came out. And then I watched it. I watched the whole thing at one sitting, you know, cool about Netflix. And then, like I say, man, when you came up first again, before I seen the car, I seen you, man, and you're like the dude with the glasses, and like who's this guy, man? And then like, dude, when I seen the K, bro, like I was like no shit screaming like, dude, you got a KA, man. And like this is again, like you say, man, I'm in Japan. I can run the shop. I got all these cars, but I'm going crazy over a KA powered S13. And the reason why, man, is sentimental because, again, when I got in the game, the RB20s, the SR20s, the CAs were hot swaps. That's what everybody who was like, a guy who had an RB26, which was James Osicki back in the day, way before they did the LS things. They had the RBs, man, and like this is back when drag racing was, a big thing.
Right.
Nobody was drifting. All the S chassis were drag cars, and man, it's like I was ridiculed. I was talked down to for having the KA. And then when I went to KAT, I was beating all these guys, and I spent a total of like $1,500, and I just threw a turbo in it, and I blew 5 Ks in one season because I came from Honda, by the way, when I first started, so I was revving them too high. So when I talked to a guy and say, dude, keep it at 6,000, 6,900 RPMs. You don't need to go that high. So when he told me that, then I stopped blowing KAs, and then I had a Frankenstein setup. I had a 93 KA. With 93K, 95 intake manifold, 98 electronics. So I like Frankenstein it all together. And then I had the cams, the automatic camshafts and all that stuff, man. So, I made it happen, and then I got respect, and I'm still, but at that time I didn't have the skill sets I have now as far as mechanical. So I only blew one of those KAs, but when an engine breaks, everybody says, oh, the engine's blown. Like, no, it's not blown. It's broken. The bearings are messed up. So if I knew what I knew now, I could rebuild them and everything. So I'm gonna get some Ks over here and like really.
Hey, I got 3 sitting in my garage. You let me know.
Yeah. So okay, well that makes me happy. Then so when I get the funds, man, I'll definitely be sending cash your way and get that stuff over because I just want to do it properly. And there's nobody in the whole Japan running the K, man. What is it? There was one a while ago by what's the guy? The other pink guy. He runs Okachan, Yashio Factory. He imported a 240 over, and then Tomei developed that K24 kit, but it was a little bit costly for you can go and you can put your own kit together for half the price. And I'm like, I'm not paying that much for Tomei and everything. So anyway, man, you got
I respect Tomei.
Yeah. So what was like? So for the KA in particular, man, like. What's the reasoning for staying with a K, and what's your like
yes, my favorite question. Let me get on my preacher box real quick. Let me just So my reason for staying with the KA for the Angry Panda is because at the end of the day, people idolize those that they look up to and emulate those people. For instance, Ryan Turk, he's got a Ferrari motor in his I'm not sure if it's a BRZ or if it's a FRS, whichever one. They all look the same. So he's got a freaking Ferrari motor in that. You've got all these big time guys with crazy powered cars, LS this, LS that, LS with turbos now. A buddy of mine, actually Ben Wolf, my good friend, my best friend, he is drifting a Corvette now with an LS3 swap with the turbo and like just ridiculous, right? Making 700-something horsepower. That's not realistic for the kid that's starting. He's gonna be like, oh no, Ben looks so cool. I'm gonna go LS swap my 350Z that I just got, and I'm paying money on it because my mom got it from me from this person or that person, blah blah blah, right? For me, it's like, take what you have. You're new. Weld your diff for $150, $120. Go practice. 350 and 350Z is like the new 240, so I'll just stick with that for now to create some context. But like, cool. So you have a 350Z.
We got an earthquake going on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I hope this chills out because I got a car on the lift. But let's see what happens.
I can see your background's kind of moving right now.
Yeah, it's the Parkinson's, man. The Japan has it. It's like,
hey, you was joking about Godzilla coming last week, man. Yeah. Hey.
Well, it's weird, man. Like Japan is it's pretty much a volcano. with
Mount Fuji. I forgot.
with pretty girls on it. That's Japan and
Jeez.
weird dudes. But yeah, man. So continue what you were saying.
With me, a lot of people back. I can kind of relate to you in as far as like all the cool kids were doing the SR swap. That was like the big thing. And if you're really rich, then you could do the RB26 deal because RB25s didn't really have enough research on them. So RB26 is like the name of the game. And like barely anybody could afford doing a 2JZ. So that was the thing, was the RBs, and then the SRs. So when I had my KA, I realized it was more fun to stick with the KA because it was consistent. I saw a lot of friends blowing their turbos on their SRs and whatnot. And so at the end of the day, I built this philosophy, which is I just want to have fun. I didn't get into drifting to be better than anybody else. Drifting is my stress reliever. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I never have. I never will. I don't do drugs. So drifting is my drug. So, like, why do I need to? And this is the other part, the social pressure. Hey, man, when are you gonna swap that? When are you gonna swap that? That actually pushed me to stay with the K even more because it's like, why do I need to swap it? Why do I need your approval or for my car to meet your expectations of coolness with LS or RB or whatever the case may be? No, let's stick with the K. Go back to what I was saying earlier. I knew I was making headway with the KA already just because of the car. People liked the Angry Panda. They didn't really care about the motor. And so as people are getting to know me and like, wow, you're such a good driver. You're such a good driver. Well, I'm like, because I started on a single cam. So we're talking about KAs right now. But for those of you guys watching that are, not really knowing about KAs, there's a KAE, which is just, okay. So like the KAE is a single cam, gross, horrible motor, and I will talk crap on that. I mean, the only nice thing about the KAE is that you can literally do your timing from your oil pump, which just went up into the side of it and connected to your distributor. So that timing the motor is the easiest thing ever. But no, that motor is not efficient at all. So started out with that, maybe 120 horsepower, like a big Miata. Grew from that, went to the KA dual cam. It was life changing, which mind you, it's like only 20 horsepower difference, but it was life changing for me, and I was able to have more fun. So at the end of the day, for people who are idolizing me, and not a lot by any means, I'm a nobody still. But for those who idolize me, I realized it was important for me to push my philosophies out there to keep them on track and build themselves as a driver. Because one of the things that was happening as I was coming up was guys and kids and on the Kansas side with money were buying fancy drift cars and couldn't drift them. They were spinning out. Or a buddy of mine that joined my street crew called the Street Ronin, he had a LS swapped 240 coupe and was very slow at initiation. He wouldn't e-brake. He wouldn't go fast into it. He would roll up to the corner and then gas it through the turn. I'm like, that's, yeah. So, for me, the KA is a testament to hard work. That's what it's about. It's an iron block, which means if you're new and you don't know how to take care of your motor, you can kind of run that thing with bad oil for a while before it's like, all right, you need to do something about this. Or you can run it with a little oil in it for a little bit before it's like, all right, you need to do something about this. So the KA takes an abuse of a newbie, and that's why I stick with it, because at the end of the day, if you're going to idolize me, then go get yourself a KA, put in the seat time, weld your differential, grow with your car. Don't buy a car that drifts for itself and you're just holding a wheel. Get a car that you can drift, learn how to drift it, and grow with it. So from KA, welded diff, save some money, get coilovers. I got used coilovers when I started. So get used coilovers, $600 versus $1,500. Who cares? Go practice. Upgrade your sway bars, go practice. Upgrade your suspension arms, go practice. Break something, a tie rod, fix it, go practice. So you're constantly building not only yourself but your car, and you're replacing parts. And by all means, another recommendation, find your local tire shops and work out a deal with them. Most tire shops had to pay $3 to $5 when I was coming up to recycle their tires. So I went to the tire shops. I was like, hey, and I went up in a suit tie. I'm like, hey, my name's TC, and I would like to take your tires off your hands for you. I understand you have, I'd like to offset your costs for off-road use purposes. And they were like, okay. So I was able to get tires for free. I don't have fancy wheels. The Angry Panda doesn't rock fancy wheels because, to me, I go hard in the paint. And if I hit a curb, I'm going to be pissed. If I destroy wheels, it costs more than my car. That's stupid. So, yeah. that's why the Angry Panda stays such a humble car. It'll always stay a KA. I am in a process of building my KA high compression, and there's a particular guy that will be working with me on that because I don't know enough about building motors. I want to do it right. The last motor I built went to Hyperdrive, and it blew up in our practice rounds. So the cameras never captured it, but there's five countries working on my motor, which is, I'm just blown away. You had Sarah Haro. There's a photo of her helping me put the wiring harness back together on top. You had two of the French guys, Alex and Axel, help. You had Mickey from London, who was underneath the car. You had Stacy's dad was helping out, and they're from South Africa, and one of the Germans was helping out as well. I can't remember if it was one of them was helping. So it's just, you had all these people. It was like a family. Some of the Americans as well had helped me later on, let me use tools. The Jordan with the Lamborghini constantly let me borrow tools over there. Great guys. You would never think that somebody with the Lamborghini would be a nice guy, but so sorry, I'm getting off topic. But yeah, man, like the KA.
But that's actually right there, man. Is a really cool thing because again, the purpose of the show is they got to build competition because that's the selling point. But just like what you're saying right there, a lot of people. I had a feeling that it was definitely probably happening because I seen guys posting up, "Hey man, you got a turbo," and it was like kind of secretive, but they couldn't say why. They needed right. Yeah, so it's like, because I know Shredder, I think he went through a couple of turbos, and I remember because we've been buddies on Facebook for a long, but we just you add people, we just never talked like formally, and I'll get with him, and I just remember him like discreetly posting, "Hey man, anybody got a turbo for this?" But everybody's like, "Hey, why?" I was like, "Well, I can't really say why," and I was like, "Man, something's going on, man."
Right.
Yeah, so it's like, because I'm pretty sure you got it was tight-lipped about you couldn't really, because obviously you got to, and I'm pretty sure if you did, you pretty much kicked off the show. And
when I when I blew the motor up there, I had a high compression motor I put together myself. A buddy of mine let me borrow a torque wrench and kind of guided me on like where to find the torque specs and whatnot, but blew that motor because I used cheap pistons, cast pistons from eBay, which I didn't know. Oh man! But you live and you learn. And we sourced one off of Craigslist from a local guy out there, and was able to put a stock motor back in my car, which I wasn't upset with. But I still had fun and did good in the competition, good enough. So to get the job done. But
yeah, it's awesome, man. Like again, that's like I was, and I was like, I wasn't one of those guys like, yeah, definitely, I know I can do it, but it's like, man, it was like, that's such a cool, such a cool thing. And one thing I said, it was like, kind of like everybody's, oh, well, no, it's clearly the kid from Brazil won, but no, man, I think even the autocross guy who I'm pretty sure he's probably acting a little bit WWE stuff because he seemed like he's a good guy. The dude who was like in the Corvette who like
yeah
the
older guy
yeah
with all these awards and stuff. I can't think of him. That guy was super cool.
I knew he was connected. Yeah, I could tell some people were kind of throwing on a rock at. I'm like, man, this is it's like it's entertainment. So they like, hey man, can you jazz it up? And he's like, yeah, I don't mind being coming off as a dick. And I'm like, man, a guy like that, because that guy. Like I actually got like I started off like, well, I say started off, but autocross was a big filler I used between drifting. Autocross actually is what helped me with like clipping points, aiming and stuff, because you show up and the course is new. So I met all those. I mean, I never met a single dickhead in autocross, man. Everybody's pleasant. Everybody actually is very well off. Most of those guys. And Brian Garfield, he works in Capitol Hill. He's like an audio guy, man. His son is like badass and all this stuff, man. So I knew that guy. He's probably a really nice guy, but he's like, hey, I don't mind being a hill, and then he didn't drive well, so that kind of like that was that. But then again, man, it's like everybody that event was a drift event, dude. Like that show, and it's like everybody like I mean you. Strutter, like the guy with the dude the besides your car, Fieldings, and the dude with the S13 with the BMW turbo engine, dude, like that.
Oh, the police car.
Yeah, dude, like he like his style, like he was just chill and calm, and like I knew he was gonna go like far. And it's like the thing about him is like he just slapped it together. So it's like, bro, like if he would have had like anything else a dash better, you know,
and you know
top
what?
3, man.
You know,
my
favorite car, funny enough, is Carolina. Carina.
Oh yeah.
With what was it? The LS. Supercharged, freaking, you know, with the box on it. I was like, this thing's sick. And all the cars are amazing, and that's one thing I will credit them about Hyperdrive. Every car is different, and you know, getting Atsushi over and Kisa over, you know, getting them set up with their cars, you know, getting them set up with their cars. I don't know. It's just thinking back to whoa, what the heck, and like being able to like, whoa, what the heck, and like being able to, I don't know, just ask them questions, like even on the course, even like asking questions, like you know, it's everybody. Once again, drifting. Everybody can have their own style. You and me can have the same setup, same car, drift completely different ways, and that's what's beautiful about it, man. There's no wrong or right way to do it. You know.
Yeah. I drove with Carolina. We drove actually my first pro event. She was in an event. And I drove with her, and she, you know, really, it's like people will say different things, like, you know, she was this, she was that. It's like, it just kind of depends on when you meet the person. Like, if you know, walk in with somebody when they just had a meeting, and the meeting didn't go well, like, they're still in that energy. So, you know, when I met her, she was pleasant. She gave me stickers. We talked. Her husband was there and everything. My interaction with her was pleasant. And then, you know, people were saying, I'm eating the mic there. You said people were saying down at the hotel, I guess she was tired, and like she was like kind of being like, you know, they were saying she was being a prima donna. But hey, man, it's, you know, everybody's different situation. They don't know what happened before that and everything. So it's like when people talk, I kind of, when they start talking about others like that, I kind of change the subject really quickly, because I'm not going to take time out of my day to and most of the times the story is not even true. It's not even accurate, man. And that's kind of like, you know, doing some other stuff, you know, kind of what I was talking. You were bringing up before about like how Japan and people. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But so all right, the show's like, you know, is wrapping up and everything, and there was Did you talk to were you able to talk to the kid from Brazil?
He mainly only spoke Portuguese. I mean, his dad kind of knew some of the English, but me and him interacted a lot because, like, if he felt like a rival, him and Zhao, they both felt like rivals, and so it's just like, man, who are these guys? Like, you know, because Zhao's car just screams like a freaking beast, like, yeah, the old school sheriff, yeah. So I mean, but they're, I mean, off the track, like they're both awesome dudes. I wish I knew Portuguese, because like I would have connected more. They just had really open, just let's just have fun personalities, but. You know, when it came to practice, like their demeanor completely changed. You know, when it came to getting on track, it was game time. You could see that game face. It was, you know, and honestly, you know, I thought Diego's just like some guy like me, some young kid that, you know, loved drifting. And then like after the show's over, I look and see his like Instagram and stuff. It's like, wow, this guy's been driving for a long time. Like since he was a kid, like no wonder, you know, he was so good. Like, you know, in my mind, you know, you make up stuff. I'm like, oh, it's a setup. He had a perfect setup. No. This guy's been driving for a long time, you know. So I had mad respect for those guys, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Again, it's for me, man, it's just exciting to get the behind the, you know, the after action. We call it in the military after action report after like war and stuff like that. But but yeah, man, it's you know, at the end of the show they put the. At the end of like the last credits, they put the thing there, and as soon as before it even left the screen, I emailed her like and they said like, you know, thanks or whatever. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that, and if they contact people, it's like maybe I'll take I got the one Jay-Z cappuccino working on, but that wouldn't work because like for example, it's like. You guys set the bar right there. I mean, it's set the bar so everybody knows what to modify for. So I guarantee the next time there will be no drag cars. It'll be pretty much drift cars because the event and I kind of knew it would be like some drifting, but I'm like, dude, this is a drift event, dude. Like this, if you brought anything other than a drift car, yeah, and I guess the guy with the Lambo, like, of course when you've seen it, it's like, man, how's this guy gonna be in there? And he's just a nerd. And he had to hit the switch, and he was cool, man. And I think he caught everybody off guard because everybody was expecting an E-list type guy, but he just wasn't that. Like even on the screen, so I can guarantee you, off the screen, he was even more chill. So like you say, he let you borrow tools. So that was pretty cool, man, of him. And then he's just a hardworking guy that has enough money to buy the car. Like even his story was like, he just. Running a company and that's what it is. So it's like I see that in like a lot of guys. I get that, and the reason why I even from the start I just rooted for him because I'm a business owner, and a lot of guys here, man, they see like the cars, and even though they don't have engines in them, I got 21 cars, but only 6 of them run, and so it's like people see like all the stuff, and they just assume that you're out of touch and things like this. Like, nah, man, it's just I work for it. Again, I'm talking to you now, and I'm looking at the clock. I'm like 28 hours a week, but it doesn't matter because that internal drive, man. Like I've been up 3 days straight before, and after 2 days you start hearing sounds.
You start hallucinating.
Yeah, you can start.
I do.
Yeah, you can hear your blood move and stuff, and it's like.
I kind of feel like sleep hinders us from that next level of consciousness, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I won't get into that, but there's some hidden stuff that this programming of you need 8 hours of sleep, I think, is a falsehood. So, but yeah,
man. Yeah. So man, the show's done and everything. Was at the end. I mean, if you can discuss this, cool. If not, was there any talks of like not a recast?
Oh, like a season 2 or something like that? Yeah, that is completely blacked out. I have no idea. I'll tell you a secret. I'm kind of pissed because the final, like the ending episodes, like I don't know how obvious it is, but like I drop off. I had a court date on the 14th of August, so like I couldn't stay for the last 2 days of shooting for a speeding ticket of all things, and it was mandatory show up. So like I was so ticked that I couldn't be on the final credits or like when they won, and it's like bye, like I was gone. So people are like.
I didn't notice. Actually, I didn't notice that because I noticed that because you get in the cage.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I had to freaking come back here. Oh, I regret it because like I didn't know that. What's her name? The producer was the chick from Fast and Furious. What's her name? The blonde lady. Yeah, like I had no idea that she was a part of that. Like, and that she is at the end of it. I'm like. Everybody's like, "Did you meet her?" I'm like, "No." Like, oh man.
So you brought up like martial arts. So, like, of course, Michael Bisping being a UFC guy. Did he interact with you guys at all, or they more so?
It was more so on the commentating side. Like we got to meet them when we were kind of given a tour of like where they kind of hang out at and stuff like that. So we got to meet him. We got to meet the black guy from ESPN. And then, the guy from American Top Gear. So, we got to meet them, and it was kind of cool. But I was out of the loop. Outside of the black guy from ESPN, just knowing his face, I didn't know anybody. But it was just cool just to kind of interact with them and just the different personalities that they had. But like looking back, I'm thankful that they had the guy from Top Gear because he was kind of explaining stuff to the other guys. It's just like, cool. There's a car guy that understands what's going on and why there's a, oh man, or like the backfiring of the two-step, like in the two-step,
yeah, because I remember when he heard Aaron's car, his RX-7, man, he was like, "What the fuck is going on, man? Is his car broken?" Yeah. It's like, no, man, it's normal. It's normal. It's pretty normal. Apex seals coming out the exhaust. And stuff like that. Aaron's another one, man. Like I said, I knew of him, and he's again, man. He's just, I mean, they did a really good job, like showing like his teaching and everything, and I'll probably link up with him and talk to him and get to know him and everything like that. But again, he seems like another guy just like yourself, man. Just positive, no matter what no matter what was thrown at him, like he still, like, you know, even if it took him a little bit of time to get there. And then with the show, man, like, you know, I know himself, he probably, because everybody, when you get on that stage, it's like that's it could be a life changing moment if you perform well. Again, like you said before, Fielding, you know, it's like he got a good following off of the show, man, because he just fucking drove balls to the wall. His car held together, and people were like, that's fucking cool. And you know, and the thing about it is just like, you know, it happened. It's like kind of the chance of things happening and things not happening. And for like Aaron that day, man, it just that event just didn't go between the car, you know, having issues, and then he made a few mistakes. And just like and the thing about it, I know he has more than what we see. Everybody there had more than what was displayed, to be honest. It's like you're in time constraints. You're under a little bit of pressure. You know it's Netflix. You got all this stuff. And it's like, you know, if you had a couple more shots at it.
Right. And Aaron, like, honestly, Aaron, again, one of my favorite cars there, right? He, off the camera, like, was a hard worker. Like, that guy was constantly making adjustments to his car. It was hard to talk to him, not because he was unapproachable, but because he was trying to fix whatever it was that was wrong with that car. Even to the late nights where it's like, all right, we got to go. Like, I mean, he's still making adjustments, or, you know, you had the option, like, to show up early if you had to work on stuff, and he would always go there early. But, you know, being a few times as it got further in the show and his car was running good, like, interacting with him was awesome. It almost has like that big brother mentality, you know, which is super cool. And then, like, knowing that he, you know, works in the pit crew for, who was it? Is it Mike Woodhead or whatever, or something like that? But, and it's just like, dang, like, you know, dang.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I was like, man, that's pretty, you know, it's pretty. And the thing about it, he does that, and it's a few people I can name. I don't like a few people I can name drop, but they're the same way where they can be like jerks, like, because they hang around, you know, they not hang around, but they work with these guys, but they like, I do this, but it doesn't make me better. And that's the, you know, like you said, you pointed out, man, you said, like, you know, for me, you was like, I've been in here 20 years, a person 21 years, and I'm still a normal guys, because like the reason why, because when I came in the game, I was around those guys that had the money, they had the cars, and they were jerks, man, for no reason. They were making fun of me, making fun of my open diff, one wheel a pillar. And like, you know, and I was like, man, I said in a lot that day, and I stuck to it. I was like, man, I'm like, yeah, the car sucks right now. And we was talking amongst ourselves, everybody who had the sucky cars. And I was like, man, you know, I was like, dude, when I get to that level, you know, if I do, I'll never be that guy, man. So I can, at my shop, I have, you know, 500 horsepower car, 400 horsepower car, all these cars, and I don't like, they're there. And if the person wants to talk about it, I'll bring it up. But other than that, man, it's like, I'm here to, like, you know, to connect with the person. And if the cars coming there, is cool, but like the car shouldn't make you who you are. And like you say, I mean, just from the show alone, from Aaron, I could tell, you know, from the, you know, teaching and the stuff like that, you can tell, just like what you said, he's a hard worker, man.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, again, even before I knew anything about you, man, I just seen that K, I'm like, dude, a normal guy doesn't have the KA, man. Like normal guys have like a LS swap already, or a 2J or something like that. And I'm like, dude, it's something, you don't just keep the KA for no reason, man. That's something special about that guy. And I was like, dude, I gotta meet this dude. Then again, you know, again, shout out to Cody again. He's gonna definitely watching this, man. The fact that he tagged me in a post, because again, I didn't know you, man. I knew you, but it's like I didn't know the page. And I was like, fuck, man. So, like, I didn't want to, when I messaged you, it was like, I didn't expect to interact with you right away. And you were like, oh, man, the pale, like, it don't matter, man. Like, I for me, you had the page set up, so I was going through your protocol. And that's what I do. Even for me, man, I go through people. I don't feel like I'm above. And some people do that to me. They'll, like, you know, with the business stuff, I'm like, hey, man, could you email me? Like, oh, man, I thought we were, like, tight. I'm like, you know, for normal shit we can talk, but for business, it's just the way I track it and everything. Man. So I mean, like, kind of like, you know, because I'm good on. I got about.
I have a meeting at 6. But I tell you what, let me message him, because this is good. And we had issues with technical difficulties, so I don't want to cut you on time. Let me.
Because I got about it's 8:50 a.m. here my time, and I got roughly, I got about till 9:30 to my first customer pull up and everything. So so for me, I got like another 45 minutes. I can go solid. So if that's just let me know how much time you got, man, and we can because this is not gonna be the last one, man. And then I'm gonna get this technical stuff fixed.
I got about 20 minutes.
All right, that's fine. All right,
yeah.
So 20 minutes left, man. I'm right in my mind right now, like I'm tired as hell, but I'm like, man, I hope that because I set the delay and everything, but like you're coming over, we're talking over the same mic, so it should be good. But you're is delayed with this, so I got to try to sync the. Well, hopefully I don't know. I got to see. So anyway, man. So like, all right. So like for yourself, man. Tokyo, what's your 5-year plan? Where you want to be, where you want to see, man. It makes you, I'm pretty sure you already know it. So like, it's like, what do you want to be doing by that time, and what do you see?
Perfect question. So 5-year plan for me looks like a lot of grinding, but at the end of the 5 years, what I'm looking to do, and this is stuff that's been written down and pieced together, but in the first 2 years is getting the Angry Panda back up and running and building its following and going to schools, churches, and getting parents and kids to look at cars in a different light. I think more than ever before, the need to express oneself is important, and if I can help more people do that through cars, that's what I want to do with the Angry Panda. Between that 2-year process and between that 2-year process and the end of the 5 years, the next 3 years will be focused on putting money aside for the Bad Panda. So the Bad Panda will be a $30,000 drift build that will incorporate a mystery inline 6 motor. It is a motor that's never been put in a 240SX before. And it will be force inducted in order to put my numbers where I need them to be, which is about 600 foot-pounds of torque. That car will be used to travel and continue to tell my story. And at the end of my 5-year process, the goal is to be at a $10,000 income bracket on a monthly basis through the different brands. Through the 501c3, going out and speaking to schools, middle schools, colleges against anti-bullying, the Tokyo Suns, right, and whether or not my acting career takes off. So through the brands, I want to be at that income bracket where I'm able to then take myself and put together events locally. I used to do a thing called Tokyo's Gatherings, and it was just random pop-up spots where I'd say, all right, Tokyo's Gathering at Cici's Pizza, and the first 25 drivers that showed up, drivers or people with drift cars that are active, I would pay for their food. It's a buffet. It's not much. It's like $6 a person, but I would pay it forward, hand them a little ticket, so that they could go in and get, free food and just give them back to the community. So I want to do more events like that. Rent out parking garages and put together my own events, put on a staff that can run those events, bring unification to the street racing scene, the straight liners. I have a lot of friends that are straight liners, which is a phrase I termed for a drag racer, but drag has taken a new term, being that's 2019. So straight liner is kind of what I came up with. So, giving back to them and bringing some unification to their scene. And then, of course, eventually working on my book once I hit that target of what I see as success for myself, starting on a book and an audio book to further help those who don't quite know what their passion is or who they are here. So.
Solid, man. That's solid. And the thing about it, man, I asked the question. And most people you ask that question to, they're like, man, geez, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do next week. So that's the thing. Right. That's the thing, man. It's like, dude, I have no doubts, man. You're gonna accomplish everything you set out to do, man. It's just, again, you can see it in people when they're really about what they want to do and committed to it. And then you can see the guys who just, they talk about it, but they don't really want to do it. They don't want the struggle. They don't want the challenge. And most people, they want the end results, which is a lot of the, I hate to knock young guys, because I know when I was young, I wasn't like that. and I know it's guys who are in their early 20s who are not like that, but the majority are, where they just want the twin turbo supercharged LS7, S13, but they don't want to go to the junkyard and pull a transmission out or pull a windshield out. It's like the no grit, and then like they just want everything in it. I'm a parent, but
Hey, 1 second. Oh Jesus. Okay. Do you need me to sign stuff? Yeah. Let me sign this.
All right, that's fine. It's all good.
Okay, sure, sorry, man.
I'll talk while you're gone. But hey, guys, again, man, this is Tokyo, and you definitely can check them out on Facebook at Tokyo. You just Tokyo with like a little dash and everything. I'll put all the links down there and everything. Again, I had some technical difficulties with the feed and everything had to come on and everything. So again,
My apologies. I've got a brand new car, and it got an oil change, and so I'm here doing this, and they're getting ready to close up shop. I didn't realize they closed at 6, so he's gonna fix my paperwork, and I'm gonna sign that. But for now, we're good. So no, I have so here's something funny. So my daily car is a secret car. It's a grandpa car with heavy tint to keep me from being seen. So as I've moved to the country, I have to drive my daily now. But my roommates were letting me use their cars to get around and do my deliveries and stuff like that, because one of the things that sucks about being me is that I'm very recognizable. So a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, Tokyo, hey, yo, da 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 da, and going through this turmoil of like facing reality, it's hard to be like, oh yeah, hey, what's up? I'm Tokyo, huh? Versus like, don't see me right now, like don't look at me. So it's nice to have a daily that's like not a car guy's car, that kind of keeps me low key, because like, hey, I am going through stuff. I am trying to fix my humanity and deal with the ugliness that's inside me, right? And so it's like a chick with no makeup. Like, don't look at me. Like, don't talk to me. Don't look. Give me 5 years, and when I come back, then you can talk to me, and you can, whatever. But no, it's just a transition. But yeah, yeah.
Nah, man, it's cool, man. Again, like I said, kind of going back on it, man. It's part of life, and only you. Like only you know and only you know your situations and what you and like I say, man, everybody appreciate it, because again, man, it's the moment you're true with yourself and what you can do at one moment and what you can't do, you have more progress. So it's like you gotta, from the reason why I do so well, and it's kind of using examples for guys out there. I definitely can achieve more and do more. But I'm doing pretty good in retrospect, being a gaijin in Japan. But the thing is, man, the reason why I can do so much just being one, because I run this whole thing by myself. It's just I only worry about what I can control, man. If I can't control it, why would you take? I don't understand how people take like so much time out of their day and worry about this and talk about stuff they can't control, but they got so much stuff in front of them that they can control, and they just neglect. They disregard that because they're focused on getting likes or getting this and everything that's not important, man. And it's just kind of I watch a lot of podcasts. Joe Rogan is like one I watch a lot, and it's just like turning off the noise, man. Like you got, like he says all the time, it's like. You can't.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah, because if you're focusing on so much stuff, man, you got so much noise going on that's not good noise. Like you're just never gonna be like what's that James Woods on? He's like, ooh, piece of candy. Piece of candy. Yeah. Ooh, piece of candy. It's like every time, and even with me. That's why I sold like my cars, man. I'm selling the cars because number one, it's putting money back into my business. It's providing for my family. And it's nice to see I got 21 cars, but then like if you look at them, like they got fenders missing, they got stuff missing. It's like my own private junkyard. And it's like, it sucks when somebody come here and I don't have some cars. They're all sold. But it's like somebody's here. They're not here to see my cars. They're here to get business done and do that. So now I don't even bring up my cars. They sit over there unless somebody calls it out. Again, like I said before, I'll say something about that. But it's like that relinquishing of material things, like you said. It's nice to have it because I came from Gran Turismo, and I buy all the cars and you have all the money in the bank and all that stuff like that. But it's just you don't need. My thing is just having one solid car for me to make, and the reason why I'm doing that is because Japan. If a lot of people don't know, Japanese shops only do one make. Most shops only do Nissan. Most shops only do Honda. They only do Mazda because they feel as if you're doing multiple makes, you're not a master in it, and that's their mind. That's their mindset. So when actually they look down on me because I can work on RBs, JZs, and I do them all well. This 3000 GT that I'm working on that I've had nightmares with, dude. Like they straight up they do the X signs. They don't want to touch it because it's very expensive labor, and most guys don't want to pay the labor, and then also they just don't want to work on a car, man. Japanese guys are like kind of frail. They're not really. I'm strong, so I can kind of pick up transfer cases and move stuff around when I need to. It's a lot of car to work on. So Japanese again, they'll Ariyama Miya is all RX-7. Smokey Nagata is all GTR. If you bring a Mazda there, he won't even touch it. You know what I mean? He'll go to Ariyama Miya. You wait, like both of them, you're going to wait 6-7 months to get seen. So my thing is like I'm showing them that, dude, is nuts and bolts. It compresses air. It does what it does, explodes, and it makes movements. And even rotaries are not as magical as a lot of those guys make it out to be. It's very simple. So my thing with my business, man, is just showing them, and I'm going to do it, showing them one model of each car built by me, tuned by me, everything by me, doing good results, whether it be drag, drift. I'm actually doing rally starting up this spring, and because I can. And just to get more customers. So if I got if you can bag all the GTR customers, that's great. But not everybody in Japan drives a GTR. Not everybody drives a Subaru. So why would you put? And I guess it works for them, but they've been in the game for 30 years. A lot of the guys are trying to. A lot of new shops come out. It's not working well because everybody doesn't drive RX-7s. So good luck getting 30 customers. That's going to keep you going for the next 30 years. It's not going to happen, man. So as far as your business, like I say, once your business stuff and everything starts up, man, like because I know you got to get out of here. Definitely, man. Anytime you need me.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. If it wasn't for the fact that this expensive freaking car that I have, in a heartbeat, straight up, I would just spend $120, get a passport, and just go work for you for free. Because like one of the things that a digital person I follow is Gary Vee. If you want to grow yourself, like go find somebody that's done it and just go work for them for free. Like, and it would be one, I'm in Japan, right? Two, given the vibe that we have, even digitally, like the vibe is like on sync, right? And it'd be like freaking awesome to just, and mind you, I don't know anything about fixing stuff, but I know how to make stuff go fast. I know how to move things, so, but like, that would be like anybody watching this, like, in a heartbeat. I see the value in what you're doing. If it was a very expensive car, I'd be like, yo, what you got going on? What are you trying to get to? What's your 5-year plan? Let's do this, just because I see it. When you see the vision, man, you want to be a part of it. You want to be a part of that growth. Man, I'm excited for you. I really am.
Dude, I would seriously welcome you. Whenever you get stuff settled and situated and you want to come over and visit, dude, like I got a nice size house that we happen to find for a good, we rent. It's good for visitors. So like, I'll give, if guys want to go to the hotel, that's cool. I understand that. But if you want to just like, I got a hotel in my house pretty much, man. So, that's there. And then like, again, man, my thing is to like, expanding networks. Hopefully, again, the technical production of the video is going to be what it is. People are still going to watch it. But the, like one thing, like I got a guy, I don't know if you ever heard his name, David Adams. He's another black guy. Dude, like you're even over the webcam, man, your aura is kind of like Dave's, man. Like I want to, if you don't know David, I want to link you guys up, man, because like you both.
Is that the guy with the afro that's also in Japan?
No. Dave was former Marine. He's actually in Indiana right now.
Oh, nice.
He's been in the game for a while, man. He's a very, very eccentric guy. Very he's a black guy, 100% black. but he talks proper. He pronounces his words, and for that, he's like kind of shunned by the other blacks. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah. The reason why, man, because you're very. I mean, you're a very eloquently speaking person, man, and like.
Thank you.
I mean, even me. I mean, I'm not as eloquent, but I mean, I use proper words. I speak fully. I don't. One thing for me, man, I don't drop the N-bomb. It's just something I delete it from my mind because it's just like why.
I can't even say it.
Yeah.
I'm too white.
Yeah.
Like, I might get shot.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's like I seriously, man, I just don't. It's just so put out my mind, man, because it's like, we are, I don't like to get all into the race stuff, man, but it's like it's there. I acknowledge it and everything, and if you add to that stereotype, man, it's just like you're not helping anything. So when people talk to me, and I'm very stern, I'm very upfront. I pronounce words. I don't use a ton of slang. And they're like, oh man, I thought all black guys were like this, and like, nah, man, everybody's not that. I listen to rock. I got video games. I watch Pornhub like everybody else, so it's like,
I don't like them, but
yeah. But yeah, man, but it is what it is, man. I know you're definitely probably at over with 20, man. If you got any, I'll put your page down there, all your Instagram and all your things
for
down there.
For you guys watching, literally just Google that guy Tokyo. Yeah. If you for whatever reason you can't find it or something, or if the links don't work, just Google that guy Tokyo and everything pops up. Yeah.
Yeah. So eventually, what you gotta do is, like, a lot of the services now, they got the custom URL now. So even with mine, it won't for my YouTube, it won't come up. It won't say Pinku Style TV, but if you type it in, you got to put the redirect in there. Because I did it for all of yours, but only a few of them popped up, and the rest of them were just like the generated URLs or whatever. But we'll get all that stuff sorted. Like I say, this is our first of many, man. We'll definitely do this. Not again out, like I said. Hopefully, my network of people learn about you, and then your network of people learn about me. And that's the biggest thing, man. It's growing together. And, I don't see it, like you said, you mentioned before, man, I'm over here and I don't see myself any different than you or anybody else, man. I'm doing the same thing that every man does when they wake up in the morning. It's just progressing. And anybody out there who's about progression, I welcome anybody who's like, being negative and stuff like that. I stay away from, because again, like I said, man, life is hard enough just waking up and getting out of the bed and being productive. And then the negative stuff, man, life will get negative enough naturally without you adding it,
Don't add to it.
And so, and then my whole Iraq stuff and all that demons I deal with from there, I just don't need any aggravation or anything negative. So again, man, it's been, good talking to you, man.
You as well.
My bad for the technical difficulties again. But anyway, not the last time. Hey, man, like I say, just feel free to message me anytime, man, if you want to talk about anything. I don't sleep a lot, and I'm there and everything, so we'll get that done, man. So again, brother, it's been a great podcast. And as again, guys, right here, this is Tokyo. We just we both known of each other for a while, but this is like our first time actually talking, which means guys out there, man, like, don't accept the email for the Nigerian prince from the guy and go try to hang out with him, because he's probably fake and he's gonna take your money. But don't like close your. And it's something I got to work on myself, guys out there. I'm looking at the camera. You got to be careful who you surround yourself around with, but don't build a wall around you, because you could push off like that guy. Like when Cody mentioned your name, like nah, man, fuck that guy. He's another black dude trying to take over. Like no, it doesn't matter. It's like but yeah, man, it's all good, man. Just like be selective, but also don't close yourself out, guys. There's more people out there to meet and everything. So again, man,
one last thing. For you guys watching, this is a one piece that I will leave with you, and I always do this for any time I interview somebody. You watching this right now, you are a car person. Whether guy or girl, you're a car person. Cars is a language. Remember this, most of all. Just like we learn Japanese and stuff like that, cars is a language, which means that anybody can learn the language, which means that it is your shared responsibility that if somebody's trying to learn, to help them enunciate, help them understand what the car is or what the car part is, whatever the case may be humble. there's too much hate out here. Be humble, and most of all, each one help one. So as you've come up, help that new person come up. Much love.
Roger that. You guys got it there live from Tokyo, man. You got it live right there. Good words to go by and good words to live by. So again, guys, thank you for tuning in. It's going to be Donald signing off of Pinku Style with my guy Tokyo, and we'll see you definitely again from Pinku Style Podcast. It's going to be episode number 34, moving along. And send those questions and everything to podcast@pinkustyle.com, and we'll get to those. So again, guys out there, enjoy your life. Have a good day. Have a good night. Happy Kwanzaa, Thanksgiving, all that good stuff, or whatever you're celebrating. And see you guys later. Peace.
Take care.
I found mine.
You don't get it. Chase your passions and do it. Go after it. It's your life.